Advertisers have always been looking at Roku for proof of performance, but what's been really interesting is how proof of performance has changed, especially in the connected TV landscape, where previously it's been a lot about upper funnel awareness play when it comes to the power of sight, sound, and motion, and what we're seeing more now of is how CTV and specifically Roku is becoming a performance marketing channel where we really can bring both the upper funnel and the lower funnel performance KPIs to marketers based on what their priorities and needs are. So when you think about kind of widening the aperture on our business a little bit, we sort of think about it in three different pillars. So there's the Roku experience, which is the Roku platform. That's the OS. It's the largest operating system in the United States, and 50% of all streaming actually happens on Roku, which is really exciting, and we actually call it the lead into TV. We see 125 million people coming through our front door on a daily basis, which is, Super Bowl-sized reach and scale, which we talk about from reach frequency perspective. But why that's important is because we're able to connect with brands with the viewers in a way that is obviously high touch, but also follow the consumer through their journey from an advertising and marketing perspective. Then we kind of look at the Roku entertainment platform, and that's where the Roku channel and Roku as a publisher comes into play. And what's really exciting is the Roku channel, which is our fast ad-supported streaming service, is number 2 in terms of time watched from an ad-supported perspective, right behind YouTube. So there's the Roku channel, and then there's all the apps that live in our experience. And then the third piece of this pillar is where the performance really comes into play, and that's the Roku ecosystem. And that's where interoperability has been a big priority of Roku's in especially this past year, where we've really kind of met the market where they want to transact by building partnerships with the Trade Desk and Yahoo DSP, and a really big announcement that we launched in Cannes with Amazon DSP, and some other big announcements today that really allow brands to think about planning, buying, optimizing, and delivering on business outcomes, whatever those KPIs really are for them.
So what do Roku's deterministic signals unlock for buyers?
Sure. So I talked about kind of that Roku experience, and what's wonderful about Roku as an operating system, all of our viewers are 100% logged in, which means we've got a huge identity graph that is all deterministic data. That really allows us to understand and know a lot about our viewers, what they're watching, what they're searching for, and sort of the other sort of behaviors that they're doing. And we're able to really take that data and combine it with our other partners' third-party data, their advertisers' first-party data, to really build out a very rich advertising opportunity for brands to make sure they're not only showing up where someone is going to be kind of watching content, but also anticipating what they may be doing next, so that we can really deliver a rich experience both for the viewer as well for the advertiser.
And how is Roku getting around fragmentation, which has become such an issue?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a great question, and I think about even like the football season right now, where to watch all of the games that are upcoming, you probably have to subscribe to about 2 to 4 different apps, which can get obviously very costly, but also very challenging for a consumer, knowing where to watch where to go when they want to watch something. And so Roku really does think about the power of aggregation within our platform. We talk about that front door to lead into TV, where the viewer is coming in and they're seeking out the content that they want. Now, of course, we know a lot about their behaviors, so we're surfacing the content that's of interest to them. But one of the things that's so powerful about Roku is we build out these zones, and we can look at things like sports or the NFL zone or food or home and really curate a content experience for the viewer so they don't have to search and go everywhere, and we're really surfacing that content. So that solves for the consumer fragmentation problem, but why that's so meaningful and valuable for brands is it's very challenging if they're looking at a marketplace to understand where to place their dollars, especially if they're not placing big bets in sports content. So on average, we see our viewers on the Roku platform 25 days out of every month. The next highest rated app is probably around 8 days. So for us, it's really helpful for a brand to show up with Roku, and we can reach the consumer wherever they're watching over the course of their content journey. So that really does solve for the brand to be able to show up, whether it's in these zones or for us to follow the viewer where they're watching when they're watching something that is seasonal or has just launched.
Talk to me a little bit about where you're seeing CTV really drive outcomes.
Sure. I mean, I think some of the big announcements that we've made this week here at CES are a really great example of the work we're doing in that space. So the first really great example is the work that we're doing with iSpot. iSpot's been a great measurement partner of ours, looking at reach and frequency and incrementality. And what we've done is we've actually taken it a step further. We're the first to partner with them with their outcomes-based solution. And so what that allows us to do, and we've done a couple tests with an advertiser, actually Simply Safe, who it will allow us to understand their reach and frequency and impact, but also the lead gen and site visits that have been delivered as a result of exposure across Roku. And from there, the advertiser can actually optimize based on these outcomes to plan and buy for their future campaigns. So it really is closed loop attribution that's not only for planning and buying, but for optimization against the results that they're seeing in real time. So it allows for speed and accuracy in a way that really is moving lower funnel and making CTV and Roku specifically a performance platform.
Everyone's talking about AI across the board. How do you see AI impacting the way CTV is bought and sold on Roku?
Oh, it's so interesting. I mean, there's a lot of different variations of the way AI shows up, especially in our world. From a planning and buying perspective, I would say that the data that we're using, as well as to find audiences and understand viewer behavior and how we're helping brands kind of reach those audiences based on their engagement and viewing habits is one way. But I think the other meaningful impact is really how we're using AI for the consumer, which helps brands show up with relevancy and integrated capacity, in the sense that AI is powering our home screen and our interface and surfacing content based on preferences and personalization. And so when you look at CTV, and the big thing that we talk about is Roku is TV for you, but it's also TV for everyone. So if you think about the Roku interface, there's actually 10 million different combinations of apps that we have across our user base, and that's 90 million plus users. So it's kind of like your iPhone. Everybody's got their unique interface, and for this, it's kind of creating that ecosystem.